Hello, everybody. Did it again. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome back to the Welcome to Asgard podcast, episode 279. And yes, indeed, this live show does get uploaded as a podcast over on Anchor.fm, which reminds me to shout out Toph Morris, who is still a $5 a month backer over there. Finally have updated and put out all of the remaining podcasts that I had fallen behind on, about 7 or 8 episodes behind. So Toph, if you've been waiting for those episodes, I hope that you enjoy them. And if anyone listens to them as podcasts later on, thank you for listening to them. And if you could leave a rating on whatever podcasting platform you listen on, that would be greatly appreciated, as it does indeed help out to get more reach on this show. So tonight, gonna be a bit of a chill night, as we normally are here in Asgard, especially on Saturdays, talking a little bit about the Blu-rays that I have been collecting recently, specifically the Blu-rays that have been sent to me by you, the amazing Asgardian community. If you want to see all of the Blu-rays that I've received from places like Lionsgate and MVD Visual and Arrow Video, I just did earlier a 40-minute Blu-ray collection update. Those are all the newer films that I have gotten over the last month and a half or so. Definitely not the full collection. I have to at some point do another full-fledged Blu-ray collection video, but that one I might have to wait for the next summer to actually have the time to do so. But before saying hello to anyone in the chat and highlighting anyone's comments, I wanted to first start off by saying thank you to everyone who has donated to the campaign to help out Tina. And for those that are not aware, Tina B started a GoFundMe with the help of Stephanie B, both of my Valkyrie, because Tina B was told as of last Friday that her lease was not being renewed after 20 years. And obviously it was a very ridiculous situation, putting her in a bind where she had to, in the next month, figure things out. And being on a fixed income, not knowing exactly what the costs are going to be right now, having not moved in 20 years, among many other things. And y'all stepped up. The Asgardian community stepped up, and we hit the goal. We hit the goal on GoFundMe for Tina within 48 hours, within 2 days. So I just wanted to say thank you all so much for all of your amazing support, not to mention all of the amazing comments that were left on that initial video, on that call to action video. It was just so incredible to see. I know everyone is in a different situation. Obviously, the last year and a half has left many people in dire straits. So for anyone that couldn't donate or just wasn't in a position to do so, and you were still able to offer a kind word, a comment, a prayer, thank you. And I think that I can speak on behalf of Tina, especially, that she is incredibly grateful, and she'll, of course, speak on behalf of herself, being in the chat tonight as well. But seriously, you guys are freaking amazing. So many people stepped up to the plate to help her out, and we got even far past the goal as well. One of the reasons why I didn't make it as much of a push last night on Friday Night Tights was actually because of the fact that we had already hit the goal. And obviously I still wanted to mention it, and I was able to at the very end as I was leaving. But still, the fact that just even the Asgardian community, before the Friday Night Tights community could even come in, we had already matched it. So again, thank you to every single person out there that donated and helped out Tina in that way. And again, Tina is, of course, going to be talking with y'all as she always does, and that's the reason why we love her. This is the reason why we all, again, stepped up to support her during this time where she obviously is going to need a little bit of help, because she is just such an amazing human being. She's always interacting in the chat, always talking with you guys, always keeping me on track as well. So, and again, thank you to Tina for being here. Thank you to Steph for helping her set up the GoFundMe. And thank you to every single person that donated to that GoFundMe or commented or left a prayer or kind word. Again, no matter what you did, you contributed a lot, regardless of any dollar amount. So again, thank you for the love and support being shown. to Tina. All right, let's see who is in the chat. We got Dolores Ed, who is here early. What's going on? We also got Mr. Roy, who is here early, both a little around 5:30. They were both here. Again, thank y'all for being here today. We got Orange Hat Reviews. What's going on, Orange Hat? Thank you very much for being here. Says, gonna be listening from my bed. Got a summer cold that has laid me out something fierce. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Indeed. Very, very sorry to hear that. Let's see, we got Snorpoopus Cuber, who is here early. He says, hello, humans and other quitters, and then says hello to me. Thank you very much. By the way, Guillaume Quintal, thank you again for being here as well. And yeah, even if you can't donate, still, it is okay. It is okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I got you crossed up with Dolores Ed. So again, Dolores Ed, even if you can't donate because of timing, it's okay. Again, just a kind word and just the thought of it alone is already amazing. And again, thank you all very much for just the kind words and love. Guillaume Quintal says, quite the collection. Thank you very much. Yeah. And again, those are just the newer films that I have, right? Those are just the newer films that I have. So obviously, there are tons of other ones on the shelf that I have over there, and also tons in boxes too. So yeah. All right. Let us see. Andrew Hoyle, what is going on? Thank you for being here again. We also got Sandy Q. Sandy Q, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Andrew Hoyle coming in and then say, oh, hi, Mark, and everyone else. Thank you for saying hello to everyone here. We got Waiting for Nerdrotic and Pals. What's up, Laura? How is it going? Glad to see you here. There she is, the Empress of the Universe, Tina B. So very happy that we are and we're able to provide help, and hopefully it will be able to help you through this process as well. Hopefully any stress, which obviously is still going to be present because of the moving process, but hopefully any of that extra stress can be alleviated just knowing that we here in Asgard have your back and that you have a little less to worry about when it comes to getting things ready. All right. So again, we got your back, girl. And again, thank you for still being here and for still showing up to Mod, even though I know that you are obviously going through a difficult time. And I'm sure that the love shown from the Asgardian community has definitely helped with that. And again, she is letting everyone know, please know I do fall behind, usually about 20 minutes or so, depending on the stream. So please be patient. If I don't read your comment right away or your super chat right away, that is why. And again, if you have a comment, please put @Odin at the beginning of your comment. It's what helps me find the comments of people who actually want me to read a question or want me to read a comment or statement. And then, of course, if you are a member on the YouTube channel, you can, of course, simply just comment. But I do ask that if you're talking to someone else, that you tag that person. That way I don't get a little bit confused there. That would be very appreciative. Soul Extraction, what is going on? Welcome back. Glad to have you here. We got Stephanie B. Hey-oh, what's going on, Stephanie B? She is, again, the one who helped set up that GoFundMe. So shout out to Stephanie B as well, who is also another amazing, beautiful human being. Again, stepping up. And when they were contacting me, I know that Stephanie was still dealing with regular everyday work. So the fact that she even took time out of her busy schedule during her workday to get a lot of this stuff set up and to reach out, again, huge shout out to Stephanie B for being truly an amazing person. There is Laura Story changing the name on me, it seems like, in real time. Super Anime Gamer says, hey, what is up, my dude? What is going on, Super Anime Gamer? Thank you very much for being in the chat. Much love to you, brother. We are, of course, live over on Odyssey, D-Live, Periscope, and on YouTube. And wherever you are, again, smash the like button, light up that fire button if you're watching on Odyssey. And also, whatever platform you're on, make sure that you put @Odin at the beginning, so that way you let me know that you want me to read the comment. All right, Forever Sci-Fi, who is a member, hail to you, Forever Sci-Fi. And Forever Sci-Fi, thank you very much for sending me the collection of films that you did, and I'll be shouting those out once I catch up with the chat and shouting out all of the films that I was finally able to go to the P.O. box to be able to go and pick up. Let's see, we got the K-Man. What's up, K-Man? Good evening to all. About to head to a baseball game with the fam, so won't be able to stay for the stream, but want to say hi from Tennessee. Boom, K-Man is in Tennessee, everybody. The K-Man has moved out of the dark west, the darkness of the west, of all the insane lockdowns among so many other things, and has finally come a little bit closer to freedom. So, K-Man, welcome to Tennessee, brother. Glad to have you in the great state of Tennessee. Joey Horn is in the chat. What's going on, Joey? Glad to have you here. Shout out to you, good sir. Let's see. We got Alex McCarthy in the chat. What's going on? He says, howdy, Odin. How's it going? How's Thor? Watched a new John Cena movie on Hulu called Vacation Friends. Was hilarious. I doubt it. Even though Hulu hasn't disappointed me as far as the films. Actually, no, I take that back. There was at least one good film that came from Hulu directly. And that was the film starring, what is it, Frank Grillo. And the name of the film is escaping me, but it was fantastic. It was one of the best films to come out this year. But then also within this past year, another film came out called Palm Springs, and that movie was complete garbage. So Hulu has kind of a mixed track record there, but I will say this much. Anything with John Cena, as far as the movie is concerned, I don't have high hopes. I do not have high hopes for it. So just because Alex McCarthy, by the way, if you're new to the channel, just because Alex McCarthy says a movie is good does not necessarily mean that is the case. He is the king of the bad takes on movies, but we love him anyway. We love him anyway. Kek44, what's going on? Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Zaid Mazani, what's going on, Zaid? Thank you very much for being here. Much love to you, Alex McCarthy. We love having you here, good sir. We love having you here. Alrighty, let us see who else is in the chat. We got GMonkey76. Heyo, what is up? Dova Kid, finally caught another stream. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for catching the stream. I appreciate it. You are amazing. You are amazing and beautiful. Thank you for being here. Derek McManus, again, thank you for being here as well. Thank you for being a friend. I'm again on same time, same days every single week. I know there is a massive stream going on over at Drunk 3PO's. Drunk 3PO, by the way, has just been killing it. He's got like 400 plus people watching, and the dude deserves it. Again, Drunk 3PO is one of the best of us because he is an incredible human being. His work and charity is bar none in our community, and he just has an incredibly good heart. And I think that the success that he has seen, not just on his channel, but also just in life. I mean, how many people can say, oh yeah, I get to hang out every now and then when she has time with Gina Carano, or I get to go out to Vegas and to be in the John Bertolo studio and do an interview. I mean, it takes a man like that. It takes a very special type of man like that to be able to do those types of things. So again, shout out to Drunk 3PO. Much love to you, brother. And you're one of the only ones that I will allow to stream when I stream on Saturdays without declaring you excommunicado, because we've been doing this dance back and forth on Saturdays for a good while. And you are a wonderful human being. All right, let's see. Alex McCarthy says here, Mike coming in hot like pizza from yesterday. Yeah, at the very beginning. That's why I whispered, and then I waited, and sure enough, it backed off a bit, and things should be sounding a lot better than it did during the first few seconds. That's why I've been having the tendency to whisper, trying to whisper things, whisper the sweet nothings, as it were, into the microphone, because even though before the stream started, I even checked the levels, I even manually changed the levels, for some reason, it just didn't work. I don't quite understand it. Joey Horn, who is a recent winner of Wrath of Man on Blu-ray, which again, I just actually put those out. So my two winners on Wrath of Man, I've put those out into the mail. So hopefully it'll either get to you this week or next week. So congratulations again on winning those films. But yeah, the John Wick Steelbook, the trilogy, is beautiful. And I have another one to be able to give away. Laura Story won the first one that I gave away. So shout out to Laura for winning that one. And I have another one, and I was debating a while, I was debating whether or not I wanted to keep that one. Obviously, if I wanted to get another one, I could at this point. But I already have all of them individually on their own Steelbook edition. Only one of them, I believe, if not two, are actually 4K. But I think that I would be willing to, at some point, get a 4K edition of the first John Wick and then just put it into the Steelbook that I have instead. But anyway, that is definitely on the giveaway list, though, at the very least. So Yeah, it looks beautiful, by the way. And again, if you want to see that and a ton of other steelbooks and stuff that I'm, one, featuring in giveaways, and two, that I'm adding to my own collection that I've found and thoroughly enjoyed. Again, that 40-minute video I put out today, yeah, it's a lot, but there's a lot of good stuff in there, especially earlier on. The new number 2, what's going on? Teen Heist, hail to you. Hologram Nunchuck, what is going on? Hologram. Glad to have you here. Bifford a Hobbit in the chat to say rent is going up 30%, which is insane. But it also makes sense. When you have been told that you can't collect rent for months upon months, and you have to keep people who can't pay their rent, right? It's one situation if someone can absolutely pay their rent, and you're, obviously told to do various things. But when you have people who can't pay their rent and you're told that you cannot evict them because of that for a certain period of time, right? For one, that does make some sense, right? Because they're not making money because things are shut down. So how could they pay their rent? On the other side, the people who are running the buildings kind of got to make a living too, right? So it's this weird, this weird, kind of split going on where it's hard to really find a bad guy in it, except for the federal government, state governments that lock things down, shut people's lives down, shut people's businesses down, because those are the ones I think all of us can come to the agreement on, that the logic that they used to do those things was illogical and ended up destroying not only the economy, but what the economy consists of, which is real people, real life people with real jobs whose lives were destroyed and upended. I think it's incredibly important for us to always have that more nuanced approach with it, right? So it's not the people who are owning the buildings who are really in the wrong necessarily here, right? Obviously, there's exceptions. There's going to be people acting this way, right? The situation with Tina, right? There's someone acting in a way where it's like, no, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is not because of a pay situation. This is because simply they're being an ass about it. Right, so that's very different than the other situations where moratorium ends or anything like that, and then all of a sudden they are trying to collect rent that they've not had to collect for months upon months upon months because the government told them that they couldn't, and then they're losing money. It's just, we need to always have that more nuanced approach to it. But basically, it also shows us, the rule that everyone knows is true, and that is that when the government gets its hands on anything, it'll screw up, it'll ruin it. And yet it's amazing how many people who used to feel that way, most especially when another administration was in charge, now all of a sudden it's trust them. Some of them are finally waking up, though. All of this stuff going on right now with Afghanistan and the lives being lost and just the immense tragedies going on. Again, thoughts and prayers going out to all of the soldiers that lost their lives and their families. Some of them were very, very young. I think that some people are finally starting to wake up. And the question to me is it too late? And will they remain awakened enough, long enough to do something, right? To do something about it, to stand up. Because enough is enough. Just another red shirt. Hail to you. Welcome back. Rusty Shackelford, what's going on? Thank you for being here. You are an amazing person. Let's see. Galme Quintal, what's up? Thank you very much for the super sticker. And I love the descriptions that Restream gives them these. It says, Shiba Dog saying good job while raising his thumbs up. Well, thank you very much, Quintal, for that. I appreciate it. Oh, I love when it describes the stickers in immense detail. It always makes me happy. Hannibal Grimm, what's going on, dude? Welcome back to the chat. Glad to have you here. Boom, Tina B, absolutely. As I said, obviously, if we're in a position to help those around us in need, then awesome, that's great. But thoughts, prayers, those can help too. It can really help someone, especially in trying to develop a more positive mindset and outlook. Because knowing that there is a group of warriors behind your back that have your back in a spiritual and in a emotional, mental way, that's a very powerful tool that has a very powerful effect. Just another red shirt. Tag to say another YouTube content creator, The Wakedown, has been told to vacate the property he's subletting. He put up a GoFundMe to finance his move, and as of today, the fellowship has exceeded his goal. Boom. Absolutely. It's amazing to me, whether it's Fandom Menace, Fandom Collective, Fellowship, Friday Night Tights, Asgard, whatever community it is, It's always amazing, and it always just makes me feel so much love for the community that I'm a part of, that we're a part of, that we step up that way. That when there's a situation that someone is going through, we step up. Adam Frank in the Clan over on D-Live. What is going on, good sir? Thanks for being here. Tina Beat says, I'm still overwhelmed, but thank the Lord I found a new place yesterday. It's right down the road, and I really like it. So many people said God had my back. I believe it. Boom. There you go. There you go. So glad to hear that. So Tina has found a location. So again, thank you to everyone who donated, because I know those are indeed going to be able to help. Those are going to be able to help her in that process of moving. But very happy to hear that a place has been found. Andrew Hoyle, who's a member, says, will Grace Randolph be popping by again tonight? No, she will not. But obviously, at least in spirit, she will be here. So that's all I can say about it. Rob D tagged to say, hello, Odin. I watched Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard and Transporter 3 this week. What did you think of the Hitman Wife's Bodyguard? I have the film. Shout out once again to Lionsgate for sending that film for me to watch. I needed to watch the first one first, so I do plan on watching the sequel because I do have it, and it is in the Plex server. But what about Transporter 3? I like the first Transporter. It was, a fun throwaway movie, but when they started to make it a series of movies, I said, no, this is really not a story that needs anything. All right, let's see. Adam, yeah, indeed, I do fall behind, bro. I do fall behind. I will say this much, Adam. I will say this much. Why are you throwing shade at my Friday Night Tights family? I thought I saw some shade being thrown towards my Friday Night Tights family the other day. Might need to have a conversation, because that is my family. My Asgardians are my family, but Friday Night Tights, they're family too. And I don't mean in the biological sense. I mean in the Fast and Furious 7, we're family. But anyway. Dean Heiss over there, what is going on? Thank you very much for being here. Let's see, Frank and the Clan tagged to say, hello, brother. 3 months now, stopped smoking, turned my extra garage into a gym, and have been hitting it every day. Well, glad to hear that you are getting yourself in shape. Always good to hear that. J-Rod the Beer Guru, what's going on, good sir? He says, cheers, everyone. Cheers to you. J-Rod. Much love. We got the D-Live fam in tonight. D-Live fam's been a little quiet recently, so I'm glad to see the D-Live fam back up and running. J-Rod, tagged to say, any plans to up your pizza game after last night's Friday Night Tights? Bruh, my pizza game is always on point. People need to get to my level. People need to get to my level in order to live up to the pizza game. So, my pizza game is always on point. Let's see. Dolores Head says, that very short film named Hug, I believe, was good since it was short. It was that faux Chuck E. Cheese monster type short film. That's not the film I was thinking of on Hulu. It was a different film with Frank Grillo. And it was kind of like, Free Guy in a certain way, where it was someone who was caught in a loop and it was like a video game. And for some reason, the name escaped me there. See, Rob D says, what kind of candy you like? I picked up a box of candy from BJ's that's Skittles, regular and peanut M&Ms, Snickers, Three Musketeers, and Starburst. I like all kinds of candy. I love Boss Level. Boom. Bifford the Hobbit. Thank you, good sir. Someone else may have mentioned it earlier, but I'm looking at the live chat. That's the film, Bifford. Thank you so much. Yeah, Boss Level. That was a great film. That was a fantastic film on Hulu. One of my favorites, actually, of this year. Is that movie. Got into the A level. I think I gave that film an A-. And the visual effects for the budget they had especially were better than a lot of the other bigger budget films that we tend to see. But as going back to Robbie's question, candy-wise, big fan of anything chocolate. I don't like nuts, so I'm more of, I like me some Twix. I love me some Twix. Love me some Three Musketeers. Love me some Milky Ways. Reese's Cups I do like too, but I can sometimes go overboard, so I try and hold myself back on those a bit. Love me some Hershey's chocolate. Love me some just milk chocolate is my all-time favorite. As far as like movie snacks though, the ones that they sell standard at any movie theater, I like Junior Mints, to be honest, because you get a little bit of the chocolate, you get a little bit of the mintiness to it. I don't do the gummies. I don't do the gummy stuff. The gummy stuff just bothers me. There's just something about it. Something about it. Zaid says, you're the only one from the guys that actually read my nickname right. Well, I'm glad I got it right. I'm never sure, so I'm always happy. I'm always happy to hear that I've pronounced a name correctly. I don't always do it, but I appreciate, I'm glad that I've mentioned it correctly today, Zaid. Nathan Slay, what's going on? Maybe being a teacher and having to read and learn so many names might be a thing. I don't know. Let's see, Adam over on D-Live said, had 11 puppies, all doing good. Love to everyone here. Stay cool, be excellent to each other always. Well, Adam, thank you for stopping by. Hope the puppies are doing well. Thank you for the lemon donation as well. Thank you very much for the lemon donation. I appreciate it. Let's see, Sahil says, Grace Randolph was great yesterday. She was. It's very kind of her to stop by for as little of a time as she did. That's for sure. Tina B says, well, I think EFAP is still going. Nothing stops then, I'm afraid. They review the Spider-Man Whatever Home trailer, and they're looking forward to the movie Whatever Comes. Yeah, and I think, as I said, there is a lot of nostalgia there. There's a lot of nostalgia in that trailer, and I think it's going to make some people happy. I think it's going to get it's definitely going to get more butts into seats because of it. And especially if their next trailer or if the final trailer before the movie comes out, if it shows like all three of the Spider-Men, right? If it shows the Tobey, Andrew Garfield, and man, sometimes I just blank on things, but all three Spider-Men, Tom Holland, I think that is going to get a lot of people excited. Now, I'm very, very cautious about that because nostalgia is a very powerful drug. It's an incredibly powerful drug, and one of the effects of that drug is that it clouds the judgment. It creates what I like to call the rose-tinted glasses that sometimes makes it harder to see the issues that are going on. Let's see, Cacao and Cookies Minion. Time for a break from errands and household chores. Nothing better than an evening stream from Odin. Well, thank you, Cacao. I appreciate it, man. And thank you for choosing this stream as your place of rest and respite. Adam tagged to say, you sound clean here in my gym, brother. All smooth. Nice. Thank you. Orange Hair Reviews as the member says, just got The Saint with Val Kilmer. Still as good as when I watched it years ago. What are your thoughts? Haven't seen The Saint, but John Flickinger, my podcast partner on Patreon and Subscribestar and Locals, I need to find an easier way to kind of pull them all together. But essentially, the podcast, the exclusive podcast that I do for my Army of Asgard, my Keeper of the Bifrost and up on all those platforms, the OMB podcast, he has mentioned that film several times now. And after seeing the documentary, Val, which was fantastic, I am very much wanting to find more of his films, and that's one of the top of the list. I hear he gives some pretty good performances in it because he's playing different characters. Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington, what's up, good sir? He says, did you see Meyer Pizza here? I was on the stream still when she had her pizza. At one point, she like almost put it on her hair, and it was like, what are you doing? You can't do that. I don't know if anything happened after the fact because I tend to cut out around 8:30 or so. And it was actually a miracle last night where we actually had a legitimate, Odin, don't you have to leave? Yes, indeed. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. I was glad to see that. But I don't know of any other pizza shenanigans after I left. Let's see, Slicer Neon Stack to say, Jay hanging out. Oh, Gina, me hanging out with the Valks. We should make a shirt. Join the Phantom Menace. You'll meet your beautiful waifu. Or at least join the Asgardian community, and you'll have a ton of fun. We do have some amazing people here. Tina and Steph, of course, are the creme de la creme. Let's see, Laura Story tag to say, if they had not stopped evictions, the lockdowns wouldn't have lasted so long. There would have been riots. Yeah, seriously. And obviously they couldn't have that. And so it was all a part of their attempt at control, right? It was all an attempt to try and control the population. As 70B says, free is never really free. You're right. Whenever anyone says, it's free, everyone, we're promising you this for free. Free education, free healthcare, free this, free that. It's not. The cost will come from somewhere. And in the end of the day, whether it's the massive wars that we're spending crazy amounts of money on, whether it's healthcare, whether it's any of the other social programs or any of the war machine that we continue to spend money on, all of it is just bankrupting our children at the end of the day. And at some point, we need to have someone, and rather not just someone, a group of people stand up to say, you know what, enough is enough. Let's actually balance the books. Let's actually be fiscally responsible. Let's actually be what the Constitution is telling us that we should be. But as was some of the famous words given to us from Three Amigos that got them fired, that'll be the day, because it will. Anyway, Brian Barth, hail to you. Glad to see you in the chat. Let's see, Bifford the Hobbit tag to say, are you excited for Spencer 2021 starring Kristen Stewart? The movie is about Princess Diana decides to leave her marriage to Prince Charles. Not particularly, because I'm not the biggest Kristen Stewart fan in the world. I'm also not the biggest hater of hers. I think that she's done some good stuff, but in the end, she doesn't really get me excited as far as the films that she does. And that story too, I've never really found a whole lot of interest in the Princess Diana storyline. I mean, obviously everything about what happened is tragic, but I tend to not really care about English royalty. It's just never been. There's some people where they love it. Anytime there's some major events, right? They have to watch it to look at the whatever they're wearing that day, or to see maybe it's the corgis, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, those corgis are adorable, but I've never really cared about that kind of stuff. All right, let's see. Crisco, I'll be seeing Shang-Chi on Wednesday night. I'm not sure how much I will like it given how Phase 4 has gone so far. Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, there are people out there who are saying it's good. There are also others saying it's not. I think to me so far, the review that seems the most accurate based on just how honest it was from Jeremy Johns. Because he points out saying the first act is a lot of fun because it's some old school martial arts fighting style. You know, it's old school martial arts fighting in the first third of the film, and it's fun. And then he says, then it hits a lull, and then it leads to a bunch of CGI set piece madness fighting, and it's just not as good. And so for him, he thought that the film wasn't terrible. I think he ended up giving it a good time, no alcohol required. So it was basically kind of a middle of the road C-level film for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of what the box office does for this movie too. It's got no real major stars. It's going to bring a lot of people out, at least as far as the Americans are concerned. And even then, right, even if it did have a star, stars don't automatically bring people to the theater. It's certain stars in certain franchises that might be able to move the needle, but this really doesn't have much of anything going for it. And even though it looks like the relationship between Disney and China is somewhat getting better, since Free Guy is getting a release in China, and I believe there's still talks for other movies too, it's still something that is going to be, I think, a big problem going forward, simply because of how massive those budgets are for those movies. So it's a big problem for sure for Disney. Liam Neeson's Chin, what's up? He says, hail, at 8 p.m. I plan to start watching the 1974 classic Chinatown with Jack Nicholson in 235 widescreen for the first time ever. Nice. Very cool. I watched it once and I wasn't impressed. I'd be willing to watch it again though. Sometimes when I watch movies, I end up not being that impressed. Hannibal Grimm says, hey-o, film brother, what's going on? Dova Kid, you sent something to the old P.O. box? Like from when I was in New Orleans? Bro, it's been like 3 years. It's been like 3 years. Where is that even listed anymore? Unless you like went back to a really old movie. Or sorry, to a really old video. Forever Sci-Fi, who is a member, says, funny how during all of this, the government never considered tax moratoriums. Yeah. Yep. But here's the thing. Even then, they would still get it somewhere. There's no such thing as a complete, free anything. CDR, prayers for Afghanistan, Louisiana. May the Lord help them. Absolutely. Especially for those that are of a prayerful mindset. Please do keep the Gulf Coast, especially Louisiana, in your prayers. I have family down there. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. And so far, everyone I know of that is down there has either hunkered down or has evacuated. Right now, it looks like the storm is going to hit as a Category 3 hurricane There's obviously a chance it could bump up to a Cat 4, but the ones that I saw recently, the tracking had it at a Cat 3. It's looking kind of similar to the tracking that Katrina had. Now, as long as the levees in that area are have absolutely and actually been updated and have actually been, kept up to date and kept maintained, there shouldn't be that much of an issue. Obviously, there's going to be rain damage, there's going to be wind damage, there's going to be flooding, of course, but the big thing as to why Katrina was the disaster that it was because the levees broke, and the levees only broke because they were about 50 years behind where they should have been, because New Orleans is full of just corrupt administrators who don't know what the heck they're doing. So I'm hoping and praying that is not the case. But obviously, do please keep some family and friends that I have down there who are staying. And obviously, for those that did evacuate for their homes, and for, obviously a lot of the cases, they might have photos and videos, right, and memories and things that are hard to replace. So please keep them and everyone else on the Gulf Coast who are in that way in your prayers as well. Let's see. Rhaegar Targaryen says, in Soviet Russia, shade throws you. Indeed. Dean Heiss over on D-Live, thank you for the ice cream donation. I appreciate it. Philly to Hobbit Allen, thank you for the lemon donation. I very much appreciate that. See, Rob D says, Hitman Wife's Bodyguard was funny. I don't know if I consider it better than the first. It was just as good. Transporter 1 is actually my least favorite. 2 is my favorite. Won't watch 4. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, the first Hitman Bodyguard, it was fine. I didn't really chuckle a whole lot at it. I found it somewhat entertaining, but it wasn't really, it wasn't one that I would recommend to a lot of people. Snorter Cooper says, no pizza here tonight. I had to settle with the last of the fried chicken. Woe is me. Hey, fried chicken, still pretty good, man. Liam Neeson's chin. Again, please do not double post. Please do not double post. Obviously, you must have re-edited everything, but once it's out there on Restream Chat, it is out there. So just make sure you know what you're typing before you send, because it's going to pop up. Candy corn for Alex McCarthy. I do like candy corn. I do only have certain levels of tolerance for it, though. I can't have a ton of candy corn, obviously. Derek McManus says, since Ryan made his infamous R-word comment directed at Doomcock enthusiasts, I have personally noticed a bad atmosphere on FNT, both with the host and guest and in the chat. Sorry. Hey, again, I think that at the end of the day, I think that personally, I think the comment that was made was taken out of context. The one that was made by Ryan, I do think was made out of context. My issue with it is actually just with the use of the word. I personally do not like using that word. And it really just comes down to the fact that there are people in my own life who are special needs and who do not like that and find it to be demeaning. And so, therefore, I avoid that word. So that was the issue that I had with it, was the use of that. But I think if you actually go back, watch it in context, I think people way took it out of context, overblew it. And then also, by the way, don't forget, it was monetized by the person who claimed victim. So let's just be clear about what happened with all of that stuff. I don't hate anybody, and I don't like to start beef with anybody. That's just not my thing. But I will say, I think a lot of the hatred that's been put forward towards Friday Night Tights and the Friday Night Tights crew has been, for the most part, very much unwarranted, unless it is of a moral nature. And anyone who knows me, and people have reached out to me about it, I had my rosary out yesterday. I was praying. I had my mic muted a couple times. You may have seen me mumbling. I was praying my rosary because we need some prayers up in there. But as far as all the drama, most of it is overblown and it's just not really based in reality. It really isn't. Let's see. Galme says, finished the Zatoichi 26 movie collection yesterday. Have you seen any of them? Yes, I have. I have some retro reviews on the channel, actually. I've gotten through about half of them. I have not put reviews out for all of them that I've seen. I've fallen so far behind on those that I might not make up the ones that I haven't seen, because a lot of the films are very similar, right? A lot of the films do have a very common storyline to them. I still think they're all great because they do have some differences enough to make them still very compelling and fun to watch. You know, they're just fun entertainment. But yeah, I have the entire collection. I was finally able to get that collection earlier in the month. So I haven't watched them all yet, but they are fantastic. Big Zatoichi fan here. And a lot of that's because of recommendations from this community here. Let's see. 70B tagged to say, you said, love me some nuts regarding candy. Be careful because it could be clipped. I said I don't. No. I said I don't like me. I don't like me some. So if anything, it puts me in the clear. If anything, it makes me look okay. Junior Mints, Raisinets, or Goobers? No. Raisinets, Goobers? Nah. I don't do raisins. I don't do raisins, man. I have a big problem with raisins because everyone has an experience like this if you don't like raisins. You know, you're younger, you see there's a nice plate of cookies, and you're like, oh man, those are some chocolate chip cookies right there. You go and grab one, you take a bite out of it, and then it's the worst experience that you'll ever have in your entire life because you realize that it is a raisin oatmeal cookie. And there's nothing more disappointing than biting into a cookie, thinking it's chocolate chip, and then only finding out that it is raisin. It's awful. It is awful. Anyway, Greta Zenner, what's going on? Greta, please stay safe down there. She is a friend of mine from the New Orleans area. So again, Greta, please do stay safe down there. Obviously, hopefully either y'all are hunkered down or have evacuated, whatever it is. Let's see. Adam says, I know new FNT, not for me, but shame. No, I don't agree with some of what happened in Vegas. You know who I roll with, bro, including you. Adam, no, but here's the thing is that a lot of that stuff has been taken out of context. And I think throwing shade at FNT for an FNT meetup featuring people that are not FNT, again, you have to have the full context. Full context is important. This whole tribalism stuff, dude, I am over that kind of stuff. I don't try and fall into that tribalistic nonsense, but it really is just getting so incredibly frustrating. It really is. It's so petty. It really is. But it seems to me that there are people who are making videos about it and are clearly trying to get attention and are clearly trying to monetize it. I'm just saying. I think that is something that needs to be considered when all this stuff is going down. And again, I don't have any personal qualms or issues with anyone. But when people are just going to try and just dredge up the drama and try to make it all about them and try to make it all about, oh, woe is me. I'm sorry, but that should be a giant red flag. That right there. But again, when you throw shade or when anyone throws shade at Friday Night Tights, guess what? I'm a part of Friday Night Tights. So if you throw shade, if you throw hate at Friday Night Tights, you are by default throwing shade at me. You are by default going after me as well because Friday Night Tights is my family. Asgard is my family. So I'm tired of all of the drama, backstabbing, people talking behind people's backs, people making streams, people acting like they're innocent with everything when they themselves have made streams in the past, going after members on the panel, and then acting like, oh, I had no idea. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Just do your thing. Just do your thing and be happy. Have fun. That's what it's supposed to be about. That's what I'm doing it. Some other people might be doing it for career. Some other people might be doing it because it's their livelihood. I do this because it's fun. I do this because it's fun. I don't need any of that nonsense in my life. It's high school crap. It's high school crap. And we should be adults. Regard to Aaron, there should really subvert expectations and have a fourth Spider-Man. That would be interesting. Yeah, could you imagine? Could you imagine? All right, see, Tina B says, I was vaccinated against member berries. Too many of those things make me raise my eyebrows. Their Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Absolutely. If there's any vaccine to get, that is the one. That is the one. Forever Sci-Fi, the draw is that today, Toby and Andrew were better Spider-Man than Tom Holland. Says a lot about the current series. Well, here's the thing is that I do think, and I kind of try and find that medium, I think that all of them brought something different to the table. Because there are a lot of things that I do like about Tom Holland's iteration. Now, whether or not it's comic accurate, I don't know. I don't have that frame of reference because I'm not a comics person. But what I can say is that I do like the overall portrayal of the character. But I do like certain things from the others as well. Sasha Neon says, I know many hate amazing duology, but I don't blame Garfield. Kurtzman was involved and he ruins everything. See, the thing, I have no issue with Garfield. I thought Garfield is the best actor of all three. Bar none, Andrew Garfield is the best actor of the three live-action Spider-Man renditions. The best actor. Now, does that make him the best Spider-Man? Does that make him the best Peter Parker? Again, I think that's obviously something that is very much up for debate, and I would put that in the hands of more capable minds who have actually read the comics and have a better idea of the character. But what I can say is that there is no denial that he was the best actor of that bunch. No deny. Tobey Maguire, I love him and what he did for the character, but if you look at some of the performances and some of the lines that he gives in those movies, I'm sorry, some of that acting is pretty cringe. What's going on, Mr. Peabody? What's up, Cubba? Hello there. J-Rod, the beer guru, what's going on, dude? Thank you for the diamond donation. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'm going to head over to DLive and read if there's a comment attached to that in a second, but my YouTube chat's falling behind a bit. Forever Sci-Fi says, when has anything ever gotten cheaper after the government got involved? It's a great question. That's an excellent, excellent question. When has that ever happened? New number 2, the new FNT theme song is awesome. Dude, Dan Vasc is a freaking legend, and it's great. It is fantastic. I agree. It just gets you pumped, man. And I love that Perry Chan. By the way, I just saw he popped up in the chat. Hail Perry Chan. Thanks for stopping by, man. I love how he put me on top of the giant Odin from the movie that the K-Man told us about. I forgot the name of the film, but man, oh man, that was so great to see. Nathan Slay, unless it turns out to be unsuccessful, I think Shang-Chi deserves to be called Shang-Chi, Legend of the 10 box office flops. Yeah, and obviously, I think that the chances of it flopping are incredibly high. We still, of course, got to wait to actually get the raw numbers, because that's what I like to do for those kinds of things. Derek McManus, I met Prince Michael of Kent twice in my Royal Navy Reserve career, and he was drunk as a monkey both times. Very fond of the whiskey, but a decent chap. Nice. Yeah, again, I just have no real connection with any of them. Kaylee, what's going on? Thank you for being here. Orange Hat Reviews. Let us see. The only royal I cared about was the royal flush that won me $300 at a casino. UK royalty means a little to me as a random stone pebble on the side of the road. Nice. Dude, $300? That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Let's see. Mr. Peabody says, McCartney 321 is interesting on Disney+. Is that about like the Beatles McCartney? I don't know. I've never had much interest in them either, personally. That's just me, though. Rhaegar Targaryen, it's if it's C level for Jeremy Jahns, it will be Z level for Odin, most likely. But obviously, again, who knows? Maybe I'll come out of it and say, I loved it. You never know. There's been weird films that I have enjoyed. Nathan Slay, was there ever a movie that took multiple watches for you to appreciate? Yeah, I think I've mentioned it before. It took me a couple times. The first time I watched Interstellar, I loved it until the end when he ejects out in the black hole. It took me out of the film completely, and it just was so frustrating. But then when I watched it a second time, it was nothing but love. It was just nothing but love. So Interstellar, I think, is definitely a fantastic film on a second watch, most especially. Gary Banjo Sandwich, Manifest is back for one more season. Yay, Netflix. I haven't watched it yet. Have definitely seen the promos for it, though. Laura says, sorry, I can't remember her name, but the funny lady from Friday should be on FNT full-time. She's awesome. Chrissy Meyer, yeah. Yeah, she is absolutely pretty funny. Absolutely. Not all the things she says are my kind of comedy, because you all know, right, there's some things in comedy that for me are a little bit more on the taboo side of it. But I thought last night that at least when I was on, she was killing it. Let's see, Dova Kid, I had an old screenshot. Oh, Dova Kid, dang. Again, that must have been from a long time ago, dude. It's been a while. It's been over 3 years. Orange Eye Reviews, I hope FEMA got their stuff ready in the last decade. Yeah, well, here's the thing about Katrina, by the way. It was a failure on every single level. It was a failure at every level of government. The local level completely failed. The governor completely failed. And obviously the federal government failed as well. Because the issue is that some of the decisions made at the governor's level affected exactly what could be done at the local level because of the way, or rather, the things that were done at the governor and local level affected what could be done by the federal government. Because in certain situations, the federal government can't just come in. They need permission from governors. They need permission from the different levels. So there were, again, so many issues. There were so many problems and failures on every single level because of that. By the way, thank y'all to Vernon Copeland, Jay Rule, thank you for becoming a member at the Citizen of Asgardian level, and also for that super chat, and we'll get to those when I can. Just trying to catch up in the chat here. Greta says, my family and I are staying for the hurricane. We're very prepped, so I'm not that worried. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is that I always get that from people, even my wife, who is not originally from New Orleans. You know, a lot of concern for a lot of things that are going on, but it's like, hey, you know, category 3, 4 storms are not really, it's not that they're common, but they're also not rare. I remember back in 1998 on my birthday, we had this Hurricane George, which was supposed to be a direct hit, turned last minute, and we ended up just getting a lot of rain. Me and my grandparents all stayed together, and it was an interesting way to spend my birthday. But anyway, Jay Ruled says, wish it could be more. Be glad it contributed. Such a great human being. Well, Jay Ruled, thank you. I appreciate that. And again, for anyone who has supported Tina, thank y'all as well. Gribble, what's going on? Thank you very much for being in the chat. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you smash that like button, please. Really does mean a lot. And as you can see from the bottom, I do fall behind about 20 minutes in the chat. Have not even been able to shout out the Blu-rays that have been sent to me from members, and I will get to those as soon as I can. Hologram Nunchuck is heading out. Thank you for being here. See, Snorpipus Cuber, who's a member, says, nothing wrong with either chocolate chip or raisin cookies. It's the rabbit pellet cookies you need to avoid. Nah, dude. Raisin cookies, just, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it, Captain. Hannibal Grimm, just give me the oatmeal raisin cookies. I will dispose of them appropriately. By eating them, you can have the chocolate chip cookies. Ew. Ew. That's just disgusting. Exactly, Laura. No drama mamas. None of that. We don't need that. We don't need that. I hate it. I hate it. It's ridiculous. It's self-serving, and it does nothing for anyone except for the person doing it. Gomercon 79. Well, I don't tend to believe or would invite people who have been talking crap about it. Yeah, thank you for being a member, dude. And yeah, again, if you, it would be like if I held an event and then someone who was one of my biggest haters showed up, and it's like, what? what are you doing? He then says, I am FNT and Odin. Again, Asgardian community, FNT. Those are my communities. And I know a lot. There's people on Friday Night Tights who do not consider themselves to be Phantom Menace. I still do, because I believe in the philosophy. It's a philosophy. And obviously I do think that there are some people who have, kind of taken control. And I think they are doing a lot of things that I don't really necessarily agree with. But in the end, I still consider myself to be that. What I can say, though, is Vegas was not a Phantom Menace meetup. It was not a Phantom Menace meetup. It was a Friday Night Tights meetup. And it was an organically developing one, too. Let's see, Alice McCarthy says, FNT road trip with Ryan driving. Yeah, seriously. Ryan's been all over the place. He's, up in Chicago right now? He was pretty much taking the long way around, for sure. He's very much taking the long way around to get to his new home in Florida. Crisco says, if you could choose to erase either of these streaming services from existence, which would you choose, Netflix or Disney Plus? Let's see. Probably Disney Plus, only because even though there are a ton of classic films that I would love to still have access to, especially my Disney Channel original movies, a lot of those are available for free on YouTube. So I guess I would go with that one. I feel like if either of them has a much broader, wider library of stuff that I care about, I would think Netflix would probably have it, to be honest. Let us see. Gonzalo Bergali, what's up, dude? Thanks for being a member. Punkwaddle is also a member on the channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend. Damn it, Walker 55, yet another member on the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Perry Chan, there he is. Shouted him out earlier. Hail to you. Perry Chan, by the way, amazing job with that intro. Seriously, it was phenomenal. You and Dan Vass worked so well together. Y'all should do tons of future projects together, because I think that you could have a lot of success with that. Robert Frey, what's up? Spider-Ham is best Spider-Man, says the awesome one. Could be. Super Anime Gamer, oatmeal raisin is top 5 cookie. Fight me. Boo! No. It's awful. It's evil. It's almost as bad as pineapple on pizza. As regard to Pizza Time is the greatest Spider-Man quote of all time. That is, I think, it could very much verifiably be fact. I think so. I think I could say that. I think I could say that with some confidence. Pizza Time. Punk Waddle, I like the larger-than-life Odin. Yes. Yes. There it is, Perry Chan. Thank you. Yeah, Kung Fury, a huge influence for the new FNT intro. Dude, Kung Fury, what an amazing film. And again, K-Man, I think, was the one. It's either K-Man or Mr. Roy. I think it was K-Man was the one who recommended that one. And, it's so fun. But I was so glad. And you are correct. Suri, you are indeed correct. It was a giant Thor and not an Odin. I think that's correct. Either way, I think it still works. All right, see, Laura says, how did you FNT guys get connected with Dan Vass? Love his Witcher song. Really, it started back when we, I think, just promoted him because we discovered the Witcher song because obviously a lot of us like the Witcher show, despite some of the flaws that it has. We, of course, love Henry Cavill as the Witcher. I think then that song got on all of our radars because obviously it was a huge hit. And I think one of the producers reached out. Maybe that may have still been when, I don't know if that was when Lady Gravemaster was the producer or if that was when it was still mostly Gary reaching out or if one of the other guys reached out, Dan Vask. And since then there's been this very strong connection. Let's see. Snorter Poop, it says, the Odin clip was great, but you will always be Dorothy to me. I do miss the Dorothy. That is, I do miss the Dorothy. All right. Vernon Copeland, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. He says, I stumbled across some chick with hairy armpits with a bench of drama. Love you guys. And Chrissy was great. The openings are epic. Well, thank you, Vernon Copeland. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Let us see. Adam tagged over on D-Lab to say, hate to break it to you, but I've never been a Gary fan. This is why I don't do FNT. Plus, I have my own Friday show for over a year. Again, congrats on your own Friday show. Sad to hear that you're not a Gary fan. I mean, to me, he is one of the kings of geekdom. I mean, he has done so much great coverage of so many of these franchises and all of the issues that they've been going through, whether it is the Doctor Who stuff that's been going on. He's obviously shown a lot of love to the Orville. He got a lot of us onto shows like, I forget the name of it on Amazon. But unfortunately, of course, it eventually kind of went off the rails there as well. But I mean, Gary is one of the persons that most people like. And I really feel that a lot of hatred that's being thrown towards Gary is, I think, being thrown because of the fact they know he is the biggest name on Friday Night Tights. You know, he is the biggest of the channels, and I think that they view him then as a target, and I think there is a lot. The Expanse. Thank you, Gonzalo. Yeah, The Expanse. He got a lot of us onto The Expanse, and I think a lot of the hatred being shown to him, I think a lot of the shade being thrown to him, I think there's a lot of misinformation too, bro. And I think the biggest issue about why people tend to have issues, and again, obviously all of us have our own standards. All of us have, different personalities that we're drawn to over others. And so obviously not everyone is going to be a fan of the various styles. But I do think, especially as of recently, I think a lot of this hatred that's being thrown at a lot of these members is really coming from a bad place. And I really do think it's a lot of misinformation, a lot of the full story not being put out there. By all sides. Robbie says, do we all know you're big into film, but how do you feel about television? I've never been into TV outside of children's cartoons. I like TV. I like some television shows. I tend to spend more time with movies, though, obviously. Girlmacott79, well, Jeremy John said he thought you'd had to be drunk to like Candyman. I'm not that surprised by that, to be honest. Punk Waddle says, Chrissy had a great intro last night. She did. Absolutely. All right, J Rule, there it is. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. I said I would come into and get to this eventually. He says, as a teen young adult, I had Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 on DVD. Can you pick which ones I wore out so much they became a part of my soul and which went virtually untouched? Hail Odin, Parachan, FNT, and EFAP. Great Great crew of people to shout out there. Thank you. I would say that you probably wore out 1 and 2 more than 1, and that you never touched 3. That would be my guess, because if it was anything other than that, I would probably have some concerns, because 3 should never be given anything. Gomakaze not FEMA will help when they are building quarantine camps for us. Ooh, damn. Yep. And that's a very, very, a very scary thing. Sad to hear that, Daniel Thorne. And again, I know it's not for everybody, whether it's the large group of people, right, and large group of personalities. And as I've mentioned before, I do understand from a moral perspective, right? I understand anyone who, because of language and because of some comments made in different directions, that makes total sense to me. But if it has to do with anything as far as what others have said and any type of hit pieces, that kind of thing, I honestly would say that you should probably look into to find the actual full story and get full context. As I always say on my show, context is key. Context is incredibly important. Hamilton once upon a time, when people didn't like something, they just didn't watch it. Now it seems that everyone needs to destroy anything they don't like. Yeah, and now it even seems to include YouTube channels and YouTubers as well. You know? Punk Waddle says, them hurricane seasons were interesting growing up near Houston. Usually just a lot of rain where we were. Yeah, we had a lot of rain. It was actually one of those things, too, where when you're younger, you kind of find a little bit of it to be a little fun. For instance, you would go to one of the levees when a hurricane was offshore, and the wind would be so powerful. I remember my little brother, for instance, he, at one point, it was like he was about to be blown off of the hill. Oh, man. But anyway, I saw that there was a diamond sent via D-Live a while back, and I've caught up in the chat in a comfortable position to hopefully be able to... Let me see if I can do this a little bit more quickly if I go through this way instead.
Combination to your safe.
Don't like when it doesn't save my information. If I go through this. Okay, so we're still live over there. Let us see. There it is. Cam J. Rod, the Beer Guru, dropped that diamond donation a while back, and he says, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Amen, brother. Absolutely. No such thing as a free lunch. That is a fact. Someone inevitably is going to pay for it. Thank you again for that diamond. And again, sorry it took me a while to get there. See, Nathan Slay says, have you watched the OG Candyman at all? I'm honestly more excited to watch that for the first time than watching this heavily political new Candyman movie. I haven't. That being said, from what I do know about the original, there is some, I guess you could say, political story element to it, because I believe the original deals with someone killed for being in an interracial relationship. So obviously that is something that's connected. The issue that, for at least from what I've heard with this newer one, and what I talked about in my box office breakdown, or rather my box office preview, is that it's clearly not just about racial politics. There's also going to be some element of police commentary as well. And I think most people would be able to say they don't want to see that in their entertainment. They don't want to see that in their escapism. If they want to see that, they can just watch nightly news for that kind of commentary. That's not really what these films are supposed to be for. It's just crazy. All right, Dova Kid said, it was just a fan letter asking how you had been since the world went crazy from the beer bug and travel idea if you ever came through I-30 headed to Dallas, big hit where I'm from. Gotcha. Yeah, I typically don't travel in that direction anyway, and now that I am in Tennessee, that's not likely to happen, at least at this point. Let's see. Eric Zod, what is going on, good sir? Well, thank you for that, Eric Zod. I very much appreciate that. Definitely not the best, because there are so many channels that are much more polished than mine. Not everyone likes my kind of off-the-cuff video style, and that's okay. Right? Everyone has a different flavor. That's why when it comes to the discussions about these different channels, right, if it's just not your cup of tea, that's fine. The only time that I have concerns or that I have issues is when someone throws shade or beef at friends. When someone throws shade or beef at friends, or just at a concept in general that I happen to be a part of, I'm going to take issue with that. It's like attacking family in certain ways. And that is no bueno. That is no bueno. See, Jay Ruled, who is a member now, says, as a Chicago native myself, I've had to guess. I might say Ryan is from Chicago with that demeanor. He would definitely fit very well there, that's for sure. I think Ryan, says Rob D, he was going through Tennessee, you and him meeting up. I don't know. He has not contacted me about meeting up, and I don't really know. I don't really know. He doesn't tell me much of anything. So if he does and he wants to meet up, no problem at all. Jay Ruled says, reminds me a lot of my crazy Chicagoan friends. Yeah, I think that he definitely would fit that for sure. Daniel Thorne, voice not worn out from the Blu-ray video and singing looks like fully recovered. Yeah, for the most part, it's still definitely on the tired side just from teaching and lectures throughout everything. So it is what it is. Punkwaddle, I want to thank you for letting me be myself. Hey, Punkwaddle, absolutely. Absolutely. But you should have gone the other route and said, thank you for being a friend. Daniel Thorne, to say, pineapple is less than oatmeal raisin cookies. They're both evil. I say nay to both. I will not choose either of those. General Wingster, Odin, I'll throw some shade at you. You eat way too much pizza on Friday Night Tights. Give fried chicken some love. Oh, trust me, I already get a lot of shade. I always love reading the comments because there's always, it's like a few people who, they make comments like, all Odin does is eat pizza. Is that all he contributes? It's like, well, I will talk and I will share when I feel like there's the ability for me to contribute something. But when there's going to be conversations about comics, I don't have any real sense of authority to speak on that topic because I'm not a traditional comics guy. When we talk about movies, box office, that kind of thing, I always try and step in. But also, too, I don't like to step on people as they're talking. And that's one of the things that you kind of need to have in that environment. But it's fun. See, Laura says, there are some YouTubers with strong personalities, but Gary isn't one of them. His content isn't even controversial. No, if you actually look to the videos he does and live streams he does, he pretty much stays away from it. I mean, I will say this much. All the controversy that has surrounded him, he's basically just ignored it and just let it be. I mean, he could totally, if he wanted to, play victim, make a video, make a diss track, right? He could totally do that. But he doesn't. And I think that even if you have a side in any of the fights that are going on, I think that you would look to that and say, hey, I gotta have some respect at least that he's not trying to, keep things heated up. Tova Kid says, okay, I already read that one. He just tagged me on that one. Uber Odin. Yes, Uber Odin, the giant Odin. All right, Nathan Slade tagged to say, people think Pizza Time is Spider-Man's greatest quote. Well, I missed the part where that's my problem. Another great part of Spider-Man is simply rent. I need the rent now. And that's the one thing that I think could make the new Spider-Man film a guaranteed hit, is if you bring that character back just to have him say, I need rent. I need rent now. That would be great. Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington says, big UK fan of FNT and OMB. No one does entertainment like you guys, and anyone who cries about FNT is just a Karen. Well, thank you, Gary. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the love, and I appreciate the support. You're awesome. Eric Zod, I have it. Yes, I just haven't watched it yet. Haven't had the time to watch it yet. So let's see. Bruce says, so oatmeal raisin is the only almost as bad as pineapple on pizza. Yeah, it's the equivalent. Oatmeal raisin is the equivalent of pineapple on pizza. That's where I am on that one. J-Rod the Beer Guru over on D-Live says pineapple on pizza equals oatmeal raisin cookies equals deliciousness. No, J-Rod, you will die. How dare you? Soul Assassin, he is from Brazil. J. Rule says, if you were pricked with a needle, would a slice of pizza just fall out? I feel like you could be non-corporeal pizza entity on the inside at this point. Do I bleed sauce? Maybe. That is the question I think many people wonder in life. As they always say, you are what you eat. CJ Ruled says, I found Gary and Doomcock around the same time, and I'm so thankful that I did. Exactly. They both cover sometimes similar things, sometimes different things. J-Rod the Beer Guru says, Gary is the bomb. I agree. And I don't understand any of the hate that gets put his way. Especially when you see all the stuff that he's done for so many people, you know? Punk Waddle says, clout chasing takes many forms, and stirring up drama and pretend to be unaware is unsavory. I agree. I totally agree. Right? Just keep doing you. Right? The only time that I can remember, and I was watching this video the other day, I have only ever really made a video dedicated to calling someone out. And the only time I did it was because personal information about me was put out. That's the only time. That's the only time I've done it. That, to me, is a time that it makes sense. If someone's leaking personal information about you, if someone is going after like your family, like if someone's doing like some pretty nefarious stuff, that makes sense to me to make a video calling someone out. But a lot of the stuff that we've been seeing recently, it really is just more so of a pissing contest of, oh, I can do this and I can, drudge up this or drudge up that. And it's ridiculous. It really is. Let us see. J Ruled says, them are they, and they are them. Kumbaya. Daniel Thorne tagged to say, I want to see the new Candyman, but I keep hearing it has race baiting than horror. Yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't seen the film yet, but even in the trailer, you can kind of already get that feeling, going on from it. Let's see. Left Cross says, love all the FNT people, mostly just lurk, but it makes me want to create a channel and jump in these culture wars. Left Cross, dude, do it, man. Jump on in. All you need to do is hit record, and all the other stuff will come through time, right? You won't get maybe a lot of subs right away, but I would say, start recording, figure out what you want to do. What do you want to cover? What kind of content do you want to make? Do you want it to be scripted or unscripted? I think the first choice you make is, do you want scripted content or non-scripted content? Do you want content that's just going to be free-flowing? Because that's what I'm, drawn to. That's what I think one of my strengths is. If I had to sit down and write a script, it would take forever, and I would never get anything done. We got to figure that out. And then if you want to figure out exactly what the first thing to invest in would be, very, very small investment in a microphone. There are so many sub $50 microphones out there, USB type microphones that can give you some pretty solid sound. You don't need to worry about getting picture. All you need really are images on a screen. That's all you need. If you really want to start taking it seriously, then of course you can upgrade over time. But if you go back to some of my original videos, I started off with a Blue Snowball Ice, which I got for $50. I had a webcam that I think I used originally, the webcam that was just on my computer. And then it was because of the amazing people in this community that I was able to, over time, upgrade to the system that I have now. You never want to go too far, too fast, too quickly. You want to be able to say, okay, what can I handle? What can I do? And then see where things go. Dadman155, thanks for stopping by. We all understand family is important. Go have fun, man. Go have fun. See, GoMacau79 says, I met some pretty cool folks because of Gary and Jeremy and Comics and You. Nick Weiser, Wake Down, Red Shirt, Eric K, Foulball, Darius Munchausen. I've actually watched you since the chat caves. Oh, GoMercal79. You mean when I did the video of finding the trolls in the cave during the Brie Larson era? That's an old school video, man. Yeah, that was a fun one to do. And my wife was just like, ugh, Lord. But I love her because she challenges me. We disagree on a vast variety of things, especially in pop culture. And so it's fun because it's good not to agree on everything. It keeps the love alive, as they say. But Gomer Kyle, thanks for being a longtime supporter, man. And yeah, this community, right? Friday Night Tights, Phantom Menace, Geeks and Gamers, Asgard has led to amazing friendships, led to amazing us discovering some amazing people, for sure. Let's see. J Ruled says, ding, 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 correct. Also, Odin, it's pronounced J Rolled. It's a play on words if you look at my avatar. Ah, okay. Well, thank you for correcting me. Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington says, Gary and I are in the same age, just 1 month apart in birthday. Mine is 9/11, so when he talks about the stuff and shows of an era I get, we are soul brothers called Gary. Nice, Gary. That's awesome, man. That is badass. All right, JKDBuck76 coming in a little late, but hey, thanks for being here. Keely Chow, what's up? Thank you for being here as well. I very much appreciate it. Gomercal79 tagged to say, I have a longer list, but it doesn't consist MR? Huh? I'm a little confused. Let's see. Mr. Roy over on D-Live resubscribed for 24 months. Damn, dude. 2 years. Wow. It's kind of amazing. It really is kind of amazing of everything that's been going on with that. Amazing that I've been on that platform for this long. Sandman, what's going on? Here's the thing. The reason why I think a lot of people might be in the dark on that is because one of the persons involved just isn't talking about it because they don't want to. They don't want to give it a second thought because it's something that is just, again, completely... What is the word from the film The Wolf of Wall Street? You know, it's not real. It's not real. It's, what does he say, fairy dust? Is that what he says? That's what it is, man. It's fairy dust. That's all that it is. It's not real. It might be real in the minds of these people who are clearly trying to monetize / get, some sense of validation, I guess, from it. But in the end, there is nothing except what's in their heads. Sadly. See, J-Rolled says, there's always one that hits home for me. I'm dark as milk chocolate and my fiance is Norwegian and German. Well, that's one way to put it. The Bashed America, welcome back to the chat. JKD-Buck76 says, I grew up with in New Orleans. She's 911 dispatcher. Once saved a busload of kids from a burning bus OTW to work one warning. She's a miracle. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Laura says, your channel is great mainly because of Tina and 70B. Well, this is a fact, Laura. And so I will agree with your sentiment only because of the reason. And the reason why anything with this channel is great is because of Tina and Steph. That is a fact. Girlmacau79, if he goes to Nashville, I'll go. I live 30 minutes out. Nice. Yeah, dude. If he's in my area, man, I would if he does any type of announcement about a meetup and it's during a time I can go, it's not during the week when everything seems to be the case, that'd be great. See, Dova Kid says the original backstory involves lynching a freed man for an interracial couple who haunts a project and acts like Bloody Mary, killing anyone who says his name 5 times. Yeah. And it sounds like they're taking that and then just multiplying it times 1,000. See, Alex McCarthy says, Ryan only knows the meetups a day ahead. He is going to Nashville, though. Oh, okay. Interesting, Alex McCarthy. Again, depending on when that happens. I always wait. The pizza on Friday Night Tice says the Cheese Factory. Thank you, dude. Not everyone likes it. Some people are hate it. And it's always fun just to see the different perspectives on it. But thank you. Monk Waddle says, Odin, your boomer voice is an integral part of Friday Night Tice. Well, thank you, man. I think it's very important that my somewhat Master Roshi-like voice is very much there. Yeah, he is, dude. He is. And again, that's why I don't understand any of the hate unless you were getting false information. J. Roll says, you know why Gary handles drama so well? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with being a recovering alcoholic addict. God grant me the serenity. You know the rest, and Gary lives by it. Yeah. Again, he doesn't... The only time that things get brought up are when someone brings it up to him via super chat. You know? He's not the person that's going to set up a live stream as a members-only stream to make and monetize it, you know? That's not what he does. There are people that will do that. He's not one of them. Like, again, I think that speaks more to his character than to any of the other people who call him out or start to try and start stuff, man. Lori's story. Odin is Pizza the Hut. Yes. He ate himself to death. Next, Pongo's review of Rocky 5000. Pongo, great film. Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Girlmacau79 then says, I'm close to Clarksville, where Fort Campbell is on Tennessee side. Nice. Very cool. Thank you. Alrighty, then we are getting a little bit close to the end of the show, and I still have not been able to shout out people for the Blu-rays they sent me. Luckily, I did shout you out already in the 40-minute video, so I don't feel as bad, but I definitely want to do that at some point. GoMacau79, who is a member, says, I want to do a channel, but I only have a phone. Well, depending on what kind of phone you have, that might be all you need. If you have an iPhone, I would say like an iPhone 11, maybe even a 10, you might be able to get some pretty good stuff. John Flickinger. Good friend John Flickinger. A lot of the videos he does outside of theaters, that's all done with his iPhone 11, with one of the rear cameras on the iPhone 11, because it actually gives you pretty good video quality, pretty good audio quality as well. It's a good place to start. And there are ways where you can set it up, connect it with your computer, use it as a webcam, and then you can obviously, put in for a not so expensive mic. If you want great, by the way, and this is for anyone out there, if you are either a content creator, a future content creator, if you want some of the best insight onto audio, which again is the most important thing. The one thing I will tell you is this: the most important thing that you can do for any channel is your audio. Video really does not matter, because you can put up a picture, a series of pictures, and you can make it work. But if you have terrible trash audio, that's one of the first things that's going to make someone click off. And the one channel I recommend, bar none, is a channel called Podcastage. Look it up, Podcastage. The guy's name is Bandrew. That dude has helped me so much finding out the best mics. He makes me want to buy mics that I don't need because of all the stuff he talks about and all of the amazing things that he does with it. There's so many hilarious things that he does as well. Again, Podcastage is, I would say, the best channel if you want. He's got hundreds of videos on individual mics. He's got mic comparisons. He goes into the differences between a dynamic microphone and the best dynamics. He's got a website that has he has like a flow chart, in fact, on one of his sites, where it's like, do you want this? If yes, go here. If no, click here. And it's great. So huge shout out to Podcastage. He's awesome. And that dude has helped me so much. Let's see, Laura says, I would love to do videos using a cartoon avatar like Clownfish or just some guy. Exactly, Laura, exactly. All you need then is to be able just to get, again, you don't have to spend much to get a good sounding microphone. One that I know of that's really great because you can actually build on it is the Samson Q2U. It's a USB and XLR microphone. So you can start off using the USB features, and then if you want to upgrade over time to an XLR system, boom, it's got XLR built into it. So yeah, Samson Q2U, for anyone out there, I want to say that usually hovers between $50 and $70. I think that's a very good starting microphone, but again, there's plenty of others as well. Snortapoopus says, I've only had one person complain about the way I greeted him. I forget, and it did it again, and he complained again, so I stopped greeting him. Easy peasy, no drama. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I haven't really fallen into that myself. I wouldn't try and go out of my way to hurt somebody, It's not really within me. And I think most people would be in the same position as well. Unless someone is going out of their way to try and really, force something down your throats, Alrighty. 70B is giving some buffering. I feel like it happens a lot. I wonder if it must be Wi-Fi in your end, because I don't typically hear others talk about it. Time flies when you're having fun, says Derek McManus. I agree. And again, I do this because it's fun. I do it because it's fun. I have a day job. I love my day job. I love what I do. I don't plan on leaving it anytime soon. I do love this, and I will continue to do this for as long as it's fun. And right now, I'm having a blast. Having so much fun. That's why I love doing giveaways. I mean, again, if you really, it's always amazing at the end of the year when you're like counting how much you made and how much you spent for when you figure out taxes and stuff. And I spend almost every single thing I make from this, and it's all going back into, most of it's from giveaways, most of it's from steelbooks and Blu-rays, shipping things, all that stuff. This year I was able to get and help Tina get finally get her a new Chromebook that worked. Help Stephanie get a computer that was not stuck 10 years ago. I'm able to do a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's because of just how amazing again y'all are. So when I say that all the stuff that I get from the channel goes into the channel, I definitely mean that, and I hope that all of you continue to support the channel, not for me, but because of just how much of an amazing community this is and how much fun hopefully that you're having and I'm having as well. Father says, I quoted Yoda in my homily today about fear and cardinal sins. Interesting. General Wingster, so is FNT your Vin Diesel? It's family. I guess you could kind of say that a little bit. All right, I think I'm finally catching up to the chat so I can finally actually shout out some people who sent me some stuff. Let's see. Snorter Poopus says here, I think the pizza on FNT is a challenge. I try and see how much pizza is hiding under the pepperoni. That is the biggest question of all. How much pizza? Is there pizza even there? Is there pizza even there? Daniel Thorne, do you think Tom Holland Spider-Man will finally grow up in No Way Home? Probably not, if history serves us as any indication. Laura says, my wife is in recovery and her saying is, not my circus, not my monkeys. Nice. Dr. Bright, what's up, dude? All right, let us see. Sandman says, I definitely want to go to pizza cookie eating parties with you since you will leave me all the Hawaiian pizza and oatmeal raisin cookies. Ugh, again, still, the fact that anyone would want that kind of stuff disturbs me. Lance Mala says, are you going to watch the AEW pay-per-view live next weekend? I'm trying to, but as of right now, there's only two ways I know of that it's available. One is via a Bleacher Report, and it's like $50. And I just, there's just something about that just rubs me the wrong way, spending $50 on a pay-per-view, watching it by myself. And then it's like $20 through Fight TV, but that's outside the United States. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to get it via Fight TV, maybe via VPN, and pay $20, because I'd pay $20 to watch it. I want to watch it. I want to see live CM Punk's return to the ring. So, and again, I'm so hyped. I'm so pumped. Yes, they're about to release the iPhone 13. Let's see what we got. Daniel Thorne says, aha, I found a picture of oatmeal raisin cookie pizza. Pineapple pizza is on the run. Ew. The R says, I had mad respect for Gary when he kept his friendship for Doomcock when he could have so easily left him. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. You know, because there was a lot of bad blood thrown on one side and monetization of that bad blood as well, for sure. But yeah, Gary is all about trying to keep the peace to the best of his ability. Right. Again, you might have your own issues with Gary because of the way he talks, because of, the way he presents his channel and stuff. But to say that he's not someone that is good in his heart is just, again, very disingenuous. And I think a lot of people that feel that way are getting bad information, to be perfectly honest. Father says, I spent $150 on a Blue Yeti mic for my channel, worth every penny. I'm someone where, and Podcastage talks about this too. I am very much not a Blue Yeti fan. I think Blue Yeti works for very specific circumstances, but it's not, as far as audio quality goes, it is not one of the best for audio quality. It really isn't. And again, it works for some people's setups, and obviously it works for your setup. But if you want the best, if audio is an important factor to you, if you want really good, crisp, clean audio, do not get a Yeti. Do not get, in fact, anything that is desk mounted. There are so many cheap boom mic arms. Get one of those. Samsung Q2U, as I mentioned before, is a pretty good starter microphone. But also, if you really want to dive deep into it, there's an entire portfolio of hundreds of videos from Podcastage where he gives you all the information you need on a wide variety of things. Let's see. Yame Gital sends another Shiba dog raising and lowering his index finger to get noticed. What's up, Quintal? Thank you again for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Let's see. Hannibal Grimm says, yeah, man, Podcastage is amazing. His comparisons are nuts. Dude, seriously, he is so in-depth. As I said, if you want to have the best look into microphones and what are the best microphones, he is the person to look into because he does every test under the sun. He gives you some great recommendations. He does USB mics, he does XLR mics, and again, he has a website dedicated to all of it as well. See, Daniel Thorne then says, shout, shout, let it all out. Yes. Ba-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Andrew Hoyle, who's a member, says, I tend not to speak in the chat on FNT. Last time I tried, some rando chastised me for having a Plex server and accused me of being a pirate despite not knowing anything about me. Yeah, I mean, and those people exist. And the mods try the very best that we can, and I consider myself to be one of those modrotics as well, because I do read the chats as we go along. And when someone is getting harassed, I tried the best that I can to time people out and to take care of that, because it's not okay to harass fellow members of the chat. But yeah, there's some weirdos there. Obviously, there's some weirdos there. But when you think about it, when you have 6,000 to 8,000 people watching on any given night, there's gonna be some weirdos there. So the best thing you can do is just sit back, relax, have fun, ignore the people that are being jackasses, and leave it at that. Bruce says, I would say that the pepperoni is part of the pizza. Well, the way I make my pizza, it's a whole other level there. Gomercon79, I love pizza, but my stomach issues prevent me from eating it. It's 50-50 on what happens if I do so. And again, that to me, the only valid excuse for not liking or eating pizza is health, for sure. Let's see. Vernon Copeland, thank you for another $5 super chat. He says, I don't understand Streamlabs. Have you reviewed Briscoe County Saturday morning cereals? What? No, I don't even know what that is. But Streamlabs is a link you click. When you click on the link, it brings you to a page, and then you just follow the information. It's pretty straightforward. The best thing about Streamlabs is that not a dime of that donation will go to YouTube. That's the reason why I like it and why I promote it. But I do leave the options open, available for if anyone does want to donate, that they can donate however they want. Rosa Shackelford says, I'm more than happy to share my code for you to watch All Out. Well, I don't want you to get in trouble, all right? I don't, because that can get you into trouble, and I don't want anyone getting in trouble over that. I appreciate it. Bruce, so here's the thing. This is a boom mic arm, and it is a blue boom mic arm. This is a Shure microphone. So the mic arm, the blue mic arm, I actually thoroughly enjoy. But the microphone itself is not blue. It's just connected to the boom mic arm. So you get a boom mic arm because then the microphone gets closer to your mouth, and that creates better audio quality. Whereas if it's on your desk, it picks up all the sounds. If you bump your desk, if you have a cat like Father's Case, right, that can make a lot of sound too. So yeah, but the blue mic arm is actually pretty good. But it was not my first mic arm. You can get some really cheap ones that do the job and will work for a very, very good while there. Soul Assassin, you have to visit Texas sometime in the future. It has Big Lou's Pizza. It's been a long time since I've been in Texas, but I do love me some pizza. Tina then says they might be referring to the Adventures of the Briscoe County Jr., which was an old Fox show with a boomstick guy and Drill Sergeant Full Metal Jacket, another Fox show that died too soon. Okay, if that is the case, then no, I have not. As Father is going crazy by singing, I am blue, da-ba-dee-ba-ba-die. All right, so with that being said, please pause any comments so that I can finally shout out the people who have sent me stuff once again. So let me see if I can even remember this at this point. So I want to give a huge shout out to Rosie G12. Thank you very much, Rosie G12, for sending me the Conan series. So this is the complete quest, as it says, which is Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. So thank you very much for sending that my way, Rosie G12. Huge shout out to Laura for sending me the film Excalibur, which I've never seen before. Thank you for that. She also, by accident, by mistake, sent me a Star Wars Mandalorian bobblehead figurine box, and it's a mystery. You don't know what you're gonna get. And I did promise her that I would open it live. So let's see. This was the mistake. She bought this for herself, and then she ended up putting it in my box instead. So let's see what would she had gotten instead. Anyway, I guess drumroll, please. Okay, so not only is it a mystery box, it's then even in a mystery black piece of paper, plastic thing as well. All right, what do you think it is? Yeah. Let's see. All right, I see a head. It's a bobblehead. And who is it? This just, oh, Laura. It is Cara Dune. We got us a Gina Carano. Look at that. Yes. Oh, man. That is exciting. Yes. Gina Carano. And unfortunately, I can't balance her on the microphone. Maybe I can just, I'm sure that's making some fun sounds. Can I balance her on? I can't balance her on the microphone. But anyway, Cara Dune. Look at that. Shout out to Gina Carano. Got her a little bobblehead. I'm going to put it right up here on the computer. That can be looking over there and be like, welcome to the rebellion. Welcome to the resistance. Join the rebellion. Absolutely. So, Laura, thank you for accidentally sending me that. But hey, it turned out to be a success with Gina Carano and Cara Dune. So thank you again for sending that my way. Shout out to Bruce, who sent me this on Criterion, Being There. Again, a film also with Peter Sellers that I have never seen. So thank you very much, Bruce, for sending me that. Huge shout out to Forever Sci-Fi. Forever Sci-Fi, hopefully you're still in the chat. Boom. He sent me Police Academy, the complete collection. I've never seen any of these films. So he sent me all 7 on Blu-ray. So I can't wait to digitize these and start to watch them. Know nothing about it at all. In fact, I have no frame of reference for these movies. So again, thank you very much for that as well. And oh yeah, also these were over here as well. Shout out to, is it Jason Williams? Yeah, Jason Williams, who sent me Chernobyl, the series on DVD, and then also The Chosen season 1. So again, a couple of shows that I had not yet seen there. So those were the films and stuff that I'd been sent. And again, I cover a little bit more of what was in the boxes as well on the 40-minute video. So if you want to see all the other films that I was able to be sent over the past couple of days, please feel free to check out that video from earlier. Also, again, irony, I was sent from MVD Visual these Arrow video releases. Dune. I have David Lynch's Dune on both 4K. I've got the 4K version, special edition Dune, and also the regular Blu-ray version. So since you all know my thoughts and feelings about not only this director, but also about this movie, I will be giving away in the future. So not today, but I will be giving away in the future this special edition Arrow Video sealed copy of Dune. So be on the lookout for that in the future. Anyway, yeah, please be Cara Dune. It was indeed Cara Dune. So very happy that it ended up being Gina. Absolutely. All the excitement there. Gina, we got Cara Dune. Oh, nice. Laura says, yas. Cara Dune from Derek McManus. Yame also with some awesome Laura with the love as well. Oh boy, Joey is gonna be jealous. Mr. Roy in the chat as well. Absolutely. Don't drop her. Don't worry. I'll do the best that I can. Rob D jumping in to say, I'll give you $500 for it, Odin. I'm kidding. It's yours. Well, thank you. I appreciate it anyway. Soul Assassin, the one Gina Carano figure Drunk 3PO doesn't have. Does he not have that one? Maybe I can extort him for it. Bruce then says, you've got to double stick her up on the boom. Yeah, I could do that. You're right. The only issue is that it seems like it's flat up here, but there is a ridge because this is where the cable is hiding. So, let's see what else. All right, we are slowly ending the stream. Boom, Forever Sci-Fi. Thank you again, man. Can't wait to check those films out. Appreciate it. Joey Horn says Chosen's a good series. I've heard it's good from my students as well. Yeah, my doggos were just running around because they heard whenever they hear this crinkly, they think it's like some type of a treat. So that's what got them excited there. Andrew Cohoya wants the Dune on 4K. Well, I'm going to keep the 4K because as a collector, this is I understand the collector's value to this, but the other ones, it's an extra since it's the regular Blu-ray. Absolutely, will be giving away that one as well. Let's see. Laura says, "Holy cow, that Cara Dune is worth some money." Is it really? Is it really? Interesting. I wouldn't know. That's awesome. Bruce is like, I want it. I'm assuming that's talking about Dune. Tina then says, send it to one of us. We'll see. Anyway, that is going to be it for me tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Story says, great stream. Thank you very much for that, Laura. I appreciate it. Also, Vernon Copeland, thank you for that $5 super chat where it says, Bruce Campbell's Briscoe County, it's a must watch. It's a show. Interesting. Hadn't heard of it before. But thank you for that super chat, man. And thank you for that recommendation as well. It doesn't look like anyone was watching over on Odyssey, so it's okay. much love to anyone that does watch on Odyssey at any point in the future. Shout out to everyone on the D-Live fam. Again, thank y'all very much for being here. Don't worry, we will have a massive chest opening one of these days. But let me go ahead and shout out my Army of Asgard level and above members on YouTube: Jonathan Marshall, Eric K., Cornelius Schultz, Fetigator, Gonzalo Bergali, Soul Extraction, George Molo, Grimm's Math, Wicked Plumber, Gomer Kyle 79, Kara Tharp, Damn Wong 55, M Tax Shark, Forever Sci-Fi, Rosie G12, Andrew Hoyle, Orange Eye Reviews, Jay Stowe, and Aiden Vickery. You guys are all amazing, phenomenal people. So thank you again, everybody, for watching. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you smash that like button before you head out tonight. It has been a great show, lots of fun conversation. And again, please do remember to be excellent to each other. There's a lot of craziness going on in our world. There is also a lot of random drama happening in the world of the internet as well, which, when you compare it to what's going on in the rest of the world, really is just so superfluous and it's just so unnecessary. So send some love to each other. Don't send hate. Try and do the very best that you can to show love to those around us. And also to, if there is indeed a situation, to always get the full context of the story. Never just assume that just because someone says one thing that it is necessarily true. I know it's sometimes hard for us, especially when it's people that we like or people that we've been watching for a while and we feel like we trust. We do need to, I think, always provide the full context, know the full story, and I think that's a very important thing for us to do. Also, I want to again thank every single person that donated to help Tina out. Again, the fact that in 2 days we were able to raise the money that we were able to help out Tina is just so phenomenal. So again, thank you everybody for all of that love, for all of that support. It really does, again, mean a lot. And on behalf of the Valkyrie, on behalf of Tina, and again, she can mention this herself as well, it really is and truly is touching that we were able to do such an amazing thing for an amazing person. So anyway, that's going to be it for me tonight, everybody. You guys are all freaking amazing, beautiful people. As far as my streams, we will see you all on Tuesday. See you all on Tuesday for the One Man Low Council stream. And with that being said, have a wonderful rest of your night, everyone. Shout out to GomerKyle79, who is a newest member on Patreon. I will get you added into the video, most likely officially in September. But I wanted to shout you out anyway for being a member. You guys rock. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my August Locals, Patreon, and Subscribe Star members. Starting off with my Locals crew: Cat's App, The Real It, D Sharp, Biffer the Hobbit, Robert Barnes, and Goblin Squatch. Thank you all very much for supporting me over on Locals. And now on to my Patreon members: Andrew Hoyle, Brian P., Christopher Bowman, Dion, Don Bruno de la Mancha, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father. Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Harold Francis, Inflamed Wood, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toone, Jonathan Carney, Lance, Laura, the Modern Major General's Story, Mike Jackson, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mondo Spieler, Mr. Peabody, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Priscilla Hall, Rosetta Allen, Teresa Martin, Theodore Benden, Tina Bojan, and Tina B., the Empress of the Universe. Thank you very much for supporting me over on Patreon. And lastly, to my Subscribe Star peeps: Fast Reaction, Nosferatu Gatsu, John B., Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss / the new number 2, J-Rod the Beer Guru, and ZK Man. And a shout out to one new member, Hannibal Grimm. And a huge shout out to newest members, Brandon and Joe Horn. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Subscribestar, and to everyone for supporting me on these platforms. Also, a shout out to all of my YouTube members. You get shouted out at the end of every single live stream. And if you want to have your name shouted out at the end of every live stream and every video, please check out my Locals Patreon Subscribe Star. And you can go ahead and find those links in the top link of this description. You can find it's called the Willow link, and it'll have a list to literally all of the social media platforms and all the different ways that you can support the channel. If you join at the $1 level, you can actually get your name shouted out at the end of every single video and live stream. $5 level gives you that. Plus, you get access to exclusive giveaways of 4K titles. Right now, I've got tons of 4K steelbooks to give away this month, including for Top Gun. I also have A Quiet Place Part 2. I have Snatch on 4K, the John Wick trilogy on 4K, and also I have a Sicario 4K disc as well, and a bunch of others that are going to be coming in this month too. So if you want to have access to any of those types of exclusive giveaways, join at the Army of Asgard level. At the $10 level, the Keeper of the Bifrost level, you get all of that, plus you get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, including instant reactions when I go to see movies. I do quick little filmings of myself and talk about the films that I have seen and my instant reactions to that. You also get access to an exclusive podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger once or twice a month, and you get to also ask us any question that you want. We put a Q&A post up, and you get to ask us whatever it is that you want to ask. So again, if that sounds cool to you, Keeper of the Bifrost level. And lastly, there is the Chosen of Valhalla level, where you get all that stuff. Plus, in your first month as a Chosen of Valhalla member, you get a free t-shirt, your choice, ship it anywhere in the world, and also you get to once a month be featured on the OMB Reviews channel, and you get to talk with me. We usually chill out for 3 to 4 hours, and I ask everyone what they've been watching, what they want to talk about, what they want to promote, and it's always a really good time. And so if that sounds interesting to you, please consider joining. That is going to be on Subscribestar and on Patreon only, as Locals is just the Keeper of the Bifrost level. But anyway, thank you all very much for your time, for your support, and for listening to this shout-out video. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless.